RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk. RTF Sports Talk.
Can you guys hear me before we
And
start?
welcome to RTF Sports Talk. I'm the host of the show, Michael Buckasher. I'm joined today, every day, as always, with Billy Hatton. Billy, how are you doing today?
Doing all right. Back in El Paso, so bright and early for me this morning.
Well, welcome home,
I was
man.
loving being on the East Coast, waking up, being able to function. 7:30,
There you go.
back at it.
And as always, we have Matthew Lyle as well. Matthew, how are you doing today?
Doing good, my friend. Doing good.
Well, that's great to hear, boys. Great to hear. So, week 8 of the NFL season is upon us now, of course, and we actually have some games going underway right now. I believe right now is the It's the Eagles and the Jaguars playing right now over in London. If you guys are interested in watching that game, be sure to check that game after our show. That'd be fantastic. But if you guys are watching us on Facebook, welcome to the Facebook live stream here. If you're watching us on YouTube, as always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and share this with a few friends as well. But let's go ahead and get into today's show. We're going to start it off with some pick'ems, as we always do here on Sunday. So, Matthew, we're going to start with you. Probably one of the best games that I'll be looking forward to this week. Denver Broncos at Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs have not lost a division game and a divisional home game in 1,200 days. So Broncos at Chiefs. Who do you got and why?
I think last time they played was the test. It was the time that, it was the first, I guess, actual defense that Mahomes had really had to play. And, he struggled early on. He had very mortal-like numbers. He didn't impress crazy-like. But at the end, he really found a way to pull it out, to chew up that secondary, to evade that pass rush. And he was able to process all that and improve in a matter of roughly 60 minutes of playing time. I think he's developed quite a bit from playing a team that has a better defense in Jacksonville, playing a team that's a smarter defense with a better offense in New England. Even though he lost that game, you could see at the end he was really starting to put pieces together. So I think this time around, it's really just going to be Patrick Mahomes knowing what to do for the entire 60 minutes. Now, I'm not going to say that he's going to chew him up every time. He may get to him a couple times. The secondary maybe will make a couple plays. But I think from this one, from start to finish, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes' show, and I look forward to him to having a really big game.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I said a few weeks back when we did Patrick Mahomes, best quarterback in the NFL thing, that he's been battle tested already. He's seen this defense once, and I don't think he's going to make those same mistakes that he did earlier in the season when he was still young, where he kind of still had the hype of, is he really good? Is he not really good? I think he sustained that long enough now. Yeah, I don't see this game being as close. I just think when you got a guy like Case Keenum, there's a reason why Minnesota got rid of him. When you got a guy like Case Keenum, he's more inept to making more mistakes than he does good things. When you have more interceptions than you do touchdowns, that's a bad thing, especially in this league where everything is catered towards the quarterback. And if you cannot succeed in this league as a quarterback, no matter how good that pass rush is in Von Miller. Yeah, I agree. I think we're going to see a different Patrick Mahomes. I think they win.
Are you guys?
And to add on to that, I think I still got some questions with that Chiefs defense. I think they're playing better. They're playing better when they need to. I could see like a 42-20 type score. I don't think they're going to shut out Denver. Even though, to go to Billy's point, Case Keenum just really isn't that guy. They do have a nice little run game. And I think more so ever, Patrick Mahomes is really trying to not only figuring out what toys he has to play with, but how they like to be used. I mean, it's one thing just to throw the ball up to Tyreek Hill and Kelsey and hope they come down with it, but it's another thing to know that Tyreek Hill probably enjoys getting in full speed, stride across the middle field, getting it hit right in the middle. Maybe Kelsey loves the certain type of option route. The last couple of weeks he's really gotten Hunt involved. maybe Hunt likes catching a certain type of pass out of the backfield. And I'm not just speaking cryptic, 'cause I don't know what these guys prefer. But, maybe these are little intricacies to that offense that Tyreek Hill says, yeah, I'd love for you to catch me on a go route, but, man, I love to catch a post route even better, or vice versa. And I think he's starting to figure that out, and it's really starting to translate. So I don't think it'll be that close.
Yeah, it's kind of like what LeBron said a few years ago, or last year it might have been, where he said, like, once he gets working with his guys, he know how guys like to catch the ball, what spot they like to catch it in, how they like the laces when they catch the ball, when he throws it to Kyle Korver. I definitely agree. He's starting to get these guys. He's starting to know these guys. He's been working with them all season. He's getting the feel for them. So I definitely agree. That's a good point, Matthew.
All right, guys, so moving on to the next game of today's schedule here. 1 o'clock kickoff time here on CBS. We have the Ravens versus the Panthers. The Panthers are looking to I lost my train of thought here. It's Ravens versus Panthers. Matthew, who do you got?
This is actually the surprise question. If you would have asked me this, if we were just playing around and you would have asked me this game 3 months ago, I would have been like, it doesn't matter. Both these teams are bad. But they're not, and they're actually competing. You have one of the top defenses in the Ravens versus a Cam Newton that seems to be playing quite a bit better without Kelvin Benjamin. Me and Billy's talked about that time and time, that you take Kelvin Benjamin away, yeah, he does check down a lot to McCaffrey, but, man, what a weapon to check down to. I really like a tale of both sides. I like the Panthers offense. I like the Ravens defense. So anytime I always say that those are going to cancel each other out, I look at what the other side brings. And as much as I hate to say it, I like the Ravens offense better than I do the Panthers defense. Joe Flacco is playing good enough. That run game is solid enough. Those receivers are pretty nice. Crabtree seems to be having a really nice season. Snead, he makes some mistakes, but he comes back. He's got some nice catches. They found a way to get Lamar Jackson in the end zone to get some production out of him. I think it's going to be a close one. I think the Ravens might actually jump out ahead. That seems to be the way the Panthers like to play. I think the Panthers are going to try to make a comeback at the end, but I don't think it's going to be enough. All jokes aside, Justin Tucker probably kicks a game-winning field goal after his missed extra point for the first time in his career. I'm not going to hold that against you. When you do something right 999 times and you do it wrong once, I'm going to let that slide. So I think Justin Tucker wins with a field goal.
I'm going to go on the opposite end over here. Joe Flacco has been playing. I mean, we talked about this Ravens team at the start of the season, and literally none of us gave them any chance to be where they're at right now. And I think the same for the Panthers. I don't think any one of us picked the Panthers either at the start of the season to win that NFC South. But I like what Cam Newton has been doing. Last week, they scored 17 points in a row to come back and beat the Eagles. I think they ride off that emotion. Cam Newton, I know a lot of people talk about his accuracy, and it can be, touchy sometimes, but he's completing over 65% of his passes. He doesn't have the yards, obviously, because he doesn't have that big play receiver that he can go down the field with, but he does have his favorite target in there, and that's Greg Olsen. He still have Christian McCaffrey. Devin Funchess has been playing pretty decent, nothing to, snuff about. So I think I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers today.
A couple extra points. The guy they drafted, Samuels, last year with McCaffrey, he's playing pretty decent. They got that rookie receiver, Moore, is that his name? DJ Moore, the receiver they drafted this year. He's really making some nice plays. He's going to give you some boneheaded mistakes, but at the end of the day, you expect that from a rookie. If his numbers can match of it, you got to keep him on the field. He's doing pretty good. And look, as much as it pains me to do this, on a side note, I do have to give Mike some premature credit, because even though I think he was just doing it in troll fashion, he was kind of on that Ravens bandwagon. He also was on the Browns bandwagon, and that was not looking as pretty. He kind of bounced back and forth, but he was pretty much on the Ravens. So he is one of the people that I would say who's not a Ravens fan, who was saying the Ravens could make the playoffs, even though I think he was doing it to just be a troll. And then he came out with that erroneous news story about Lamar Jackson on the trading block. I'm not going to bring up the past here, Mike, but I'm going to give you credit that you did pick him.
Well, I did pick the Browns to do better than a 2-5 now or something to that effect.
2-4-1.
Yeah. I mean, like if a ball bounces their way once in a game, they could easily be a 5-2 team, honestly. So, but that's here or there. But just on a side note as well, the facts that I was looking for that my papers got shuffled around, that the Panthers are undefeated at home this season. They are 3-0, so they're looking to continue that undefeated streak at home.
Maybe that'll help my game picks because right now, whew.
Well, yeah, when Billy picks opposite me, I'm doing pretty good. So
Exactly.
All seriousness aside, you know, we a lot of times sportscasters and people like that, they joke about kickers. And it's a mental thing. And kickers are the type of position that, man, when things start going bad, do they start going bad.
Right.
But I like to think Justin Tucker is one of the greats. And
I think he's the best in the league.
Adam Vinatieri, you know, even though he's 40-plus years old, you know, he missed a rare field goal against the Patriots and came back to have a couple of nice ones. So I think the good ones, that anything you do, whether it's quarterback or kicker, yeah, the good ones make a mistake, and then they come back and they fix it. So I would not be surprised, and I fully expect Tucker to have a really nice game, maybe even to make a couple of 50-plus yarders. I mean, a lot of that does depend on the weather too, but I think as far as if everything's good, I expect to see a good game from Justin Tucker.
Yeah, Crosby missed about 5 kicks, 2 weeks ago, came back last week, and I think he made about 3 or 4. I just think kickers, they don't have the chance to make more plays like other people. Receiver, you go drop a pass, guess what? You're probably going to get another chance to drop another one or catch another one in the next few plays. Kickers, they kick one time, and then they have to sit on that sideline and just wait and hope that your coach got enough trust in you next time to say, okay, yeah, we're going to kick this field goal instead of either punting it or going for it on 4th down. I just think Justin Tucker, like you said, is one of the greats. He's going to get plenty of opportunities, and I expect him to make kicks.
Well,
yeah, and with the Ravens defense, if they can hold up, all you need from him is really 3 field goals and maybe a touchdown from that offense,
and you can win.
And
the
I
game.
like your chances. So, but all that being said, we say that because I think Justin Tucker is the best kicker now. Graham Gano isn't exactly a scrub. I mean, the same thing could go to him. If Cam can get in that end zone once or twice and Gano can kick a couple of great field goals, I don't know many teams that can beat him.
He's from the great Florida State University, so yeah, we expect that from our kickers,
Well, on that note, let's go ahead and move on to the next game here.
No comment.
Don't. Yeah, I'm glad you didn't say anything.
Well,
I was fully expecting a wide left or wide right there from you, Matthew.
I just Florida State in general, man.
Yeah, just laughing, move on. So speaking of moving on here, we have the battle of the Cal quarterbacks today. Like we have the LA Rams versus the Green Bay Packers. The 3-2 Packers, 3-2-1 Packers travel to Southern California to take on the Rams. It's supposed to be 89 degrees today, so weather is definitely not a factor like it will be up in Milwaukee or in Green Bay area if they were to play at home. So, Matthew, Rams versus Packers, who do you got?
Man, I have to go Rams. I think this team just looks so good. You got a quarterback that can really do anything between the red zone. And I'm not saying he can't do it in the red zone, but then you turn around and you give it to a guy like Gurley. The man has more points and more touchdowns than like 5 or 6 other teams. I just don't – and yeah, look, Aaron Rodgers is one of the elite. He's living up in that penthouse that we talked about a couple of weeks ago for these quarterbacks. But he can't do it all. And that defense gives him very little. And when the defense does give him something, 9 times out of 10, it's been a penalty. So – especially against a team like Jared Goff and Sean McVay is extremely smart. He's going to set up his team to take advantage of any downside they got. So I would imagine that receivers will be running free within the 10s. And if they don't get in the end zone, I don't know that the Packers really have anybody that could stop Gurley, whether it be catching or running. I think this game starts close, but I think that the Rams end up pulling it out and winning by multiple touchdowns.
First point, yeah, I do agree. The Rams will win today. So go ahead, Matthew. Mike, put that down. Me and Matthew agreed again.
Loss.
I think we're going to be okay on this pick, though. Aaron Rodgers, to give him some credit here, because I've been kind of hard on him. He has played absolutely amazing. On one leg, basically from the start of the year. Only throwing one pick so far. Getting this team to 3-2, I mean, is enough. I like Aaron Jones, the kid out of UTEP. He's averaging about 6 yards per carry. But I just think the Rams have too much. Ndamukong Suh, he comes in with 8 sacks. Aaron Donald, 8 sacks. You have Ndamukong Suh. You have Michael Brockers. You have Ty Gurley, who has 11 touchdowns already. 11 touchdowns already. And then Jared Goff has not. I know Matthew is not really that high on him, but he's been playing pretty good. I at home, I just think it's going to be too much for the Packers. Although the Packers do have the number 2 scoring, the number 2 total offense in the NFL. That's kind of, him and Devontae Adams has really been doing their thing. But I just like the Rams in this one. I think they win by at least a touchdown to 10 points, maybe.
So let me clear up a couple of final drinks in this bottle of conversation here. First of all, let me clear up my perception of Jared Goff. I like Jared Goff as a quarterback. I think he's nice. But I think he's this version, this decade, our generation's version, or the next generation, whoever generation's version, of Belichick and Brady. Now, that is a very loaded discussion, if you will. Me and Billy talked about that in length a lot. There's some things that Belichick does that protects Brady, and there's some things that Brady does that protects Belichick. But a lot of that is 20 years into a career or 15 years into a career. Right now, especially with them both being young, I think McVay is doing a lot of legwork. He's doing a lot of the studying. He's doing a lot of the conversing. Yes, I know Goff has to make the throw and the receivers have to get open, but I think McVay is doing a lot of that for him. Now, I say that in the sense he's not just doing that I'm not saying he can do that with any quarterback. He sees Goff as good, and he's investing in Goff, much like Belichick invested in Brady in the early 2000s. Even after Drew Bledsoe came back and was under that contract, Belichick still invested in Brady. And I think that's what you see here. McVay's doing all this legwork. McVay's watching extra film. McVay's calling in the audibles for Goff. He's doing that legwork now. So in 6, 7, 8 seasons, you might have Goff being one of the greats, and McVay can go focus on other young guys, his young receivers, his young running backs, his young offensive line. And by then, Goff has identified who he is as a player, much like Brady has. Brady knows he can't throw it 80 yards downfield. Brady knows he can't outrun you. Brady knows he can't stand forever in the pocket. So Belichick doesn't have to worry about that much now in his point of his career. And I think McVay's doing the same thing to Goff. McVay's doing a lot of the load, a lot of the work, a lot of the investment now. So 5, 6 years down the road, you got Goff. McVay don't have to worry about Goff. McVay has trained him right. Goff knows who he is as a quarterback, knows his strengths, knows his weaknesses, and now McVay can go be a great coach on other positions and spend all his time there. Like I said, I don't want to come across if I think Goff's trash and McVay's making it all that. I think he's investing. He's doing the legwork now. Goff will pay him back later. Quick question for Billy.
Yeah.
First Rams loss. Where's it come from?
I'm not sure, to be quite honest. Just looking at their schedule, I think they have the potential to lose to the Saints, who I said a few weeks ago is probably going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. They could lose to the Chiefs, but I think those are the only 2 teams on the schedule right now that I can see that they probably lose to, either the Rams or the Chiefs. The Saints or the Chiefs.
Quick last point. This is the only reason. This is where I think that first loss to come from. And you're absolutely right, Billy. Those are 2 very fathomable and realistic losses that could happen. I'm actually thinking it's coming in, I believe, week 14 or game 14, week 15 against the Eagles, because I think by that point in this division, the Rams will be locked up. The Rams will be good. Gurley will probably play a quarter and a half. Goff will probably play 3 quarters max. The Eagles, however, the way they're playing and the way that division's looking, will still be in the thick of things. Will still be trying to win that division. So they'll be coming out desperate. The Rams will be like, we would like to win, but we've probably got home field locked up. We've definitely got the division locked up. We're going to try to win, but if it doesn't happen, that's all right.
I also thought about the Eagles as well, because that first loss, 9 times out of 10 with these good teams, it always comes from somebody that you not really least suspect, because it's not like the Eagles are a bad team, but just a team that you didn't think they're not having the best season so far. So it always comes from a team that you just like, how do they lose that game? But I think you hit it on the money. They're already going to have that division, that conference locked up, and it's going to be time to start resting players. And they could very well lose that game against the Eagles, trying to fight back to get into the NFC East, because the Redskins obviously lead that division by a game and a half right now.
For now. So moving on to the next game here, guys. We have the who we got here? We have the Jets versus the Bears. Kind of a weird game to predict, to pick a winner. But Matthew, go ahead and start with you on this one. Who you got? Billy, are you there?
I think we lost them.
Okay, we'll go ahead and start with you.
I'll just go ahead and I think the Bears win this game. For me, it's just I don't trust Sam Darnold, and I've been saying that all year long. I know a lot of people were hot on him after that first game. The Jets got their franchise quarterback, and he may very well be their franchise quarterback moving forward, going into into 5-10 years from now. Because I'm not saying he's sorry, but what I see a lot from Sam Darnold, what I've seen from Sam Darnold at USC, and that's a guy who will turn the ball over. Right now, he's 10 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. That's kind of who Sam Darnold has been throughout his whole career, even at USC. I think that trend has continued. Mitchell Trubisky, on the other end, hasn't been great either. He got 13 touchdowns and six interceptions, but in one game he threw for 6 touchdowns. So that can kind of jade your stats a little bit. But I think the Chicago Bears have the better defense. So I know Khalil Mack, they say, is a game time decision and all that stuff. But overall, I think of course, he's going to play. I think the Bears have the best defense. They will get to Sam Darnold, a rookie quarterback. If this is the two factors that I see, if Sam Darnold can get a couple turnovers on defense, or his defense can get him a couple turnovers, that's when we've seen Sam Darnold at his best. When he's playing with a lead, when the defense can get a quick turnover, a pick six, or a fumble recovery for a touchdown, or if his running game can get going, then he, you can kind of see it in his play. The pressure kind of comes off of him at that point. So, if the defense can get some stops early, watch out for Sam Darnold. But if they don't, this could be a bad game for the Jets if they're relying on Sam Darnold to take them to the promised land. Either way, I'm taking the Chicago Bears to win this game.
All right, Billy. So I'm going to pick up on Matthew's lines here. I'm going to play both sides of the fence. I did have the Bears winning this their league here, and it's been kind of a surprise to even doing as well as they're doing with the Mitchell as their quarterback and stuff like that. But
with the Mitchell,
right, with the Mitchell. But let me give you some stats here. The defensive coordinator from the Jets averages about 15 to 16 blitz per game, while the opponents only blitz Mitchell Trubisky 12 times per game. When Mitchell Trubisky is not blitzed, he will complete 70% of his passes. If he is blitzed, he'll complete around 54% of his passes. So look for the Jets to be very aggressive today. I'm going to guess 20 to 25 blitzes in this game just to keep Mitchell thinking about where is it going to come to next? Where is it going to come to next? And the reason why the Bears have been winning so far is because Mitchell hasn't done anything stupid. That is the only way they are going to win this game, is if he doesn't do anything stupid. If he doesn't throw into double coverage. If he doesn't try to make that big play on that blitz when the check's down there. That's the only way they're going to be able to win this game. Yeah, the Jets are horrible, but the Bears aren't very good either. Yes, I did pick them to win the division, and I believe what are they? They're 4-2 right now, aren't they? Does that sound right?
The Bears,
Yeah.
3-3.
Or they're so I mean they're a mediocre team as well. But I have the Bears coming out on top. I'm gonna guess probably like 34-21 is that final score on that one.
Yeah, to your point about the blitz, and the one thing that I think that's going to help Trubisky is, and I'm sure Matt Nagy has seen all the stats on when he's blitzed and when he's not blitzed. And that guy can dial up some plays. I think what's going to help Trubisky in this game is that running game. I like Jordan Howard, although he hasn't had the best of season, and that's because they've been really relying on Mitchell Trubisky a lot this year. But I like Jordan Howard to kind of offset that blitz. Also, he can put these guys like Taylor Gabriel and what's the guy that they got from Philly, from Florida, Trey Burton.
Yeah.
He can put these guys in so many different sets, to kind of stop that blitz, and that's what kind of is going to slow down that blitz. So you can get trick plays in there, reverses, reverse pass, and all that other stuff. That can kind of slow down the blitz. But I agree, the Jets is going to bring pressure, expect to bring pressure, because they also know Trubisky is not that great. It's a hit or miss when he's getting blitzed. So you can best believe that they're going to bring the blitz. I fully expect it. But also, like you, I fully expect the Bears to win this game.
All right, so before we get into our final two games of today's or for our Week 8 pick'ems here, let's go ahead and go through some quick pick'ems here so we don't end on just a little sour note, that kind of thing. But just a score update, the Eagles and Jaguars. Jaguars are leading the Eagles 3-0 with 11 minutes left in the second quarter over there in London. So, Billy, we're going to go ahead and do some quick hit pick'ems here, and we're going to start with the Steelers versus the Browns.
I got the Browns winning this game. I think week 1 we were better than the Steelers in that game. I still think that this Browns team is way better than that 2-4-1 record. Like you said, a couple misses here and there, actually field goals. We'll be talking about a different team here. We'll be talking about 4-2 or maybe 5-2. So I got the Browns winning this game today.
And just to go opposite of you, I'm going the Steelers just because I feel the Steelers, they're hungry. They want to prove that they can win like without Bell on the field, and they don't need him. So the Steelers are going to come out and play hard and pull out a close.
I definitely agree with that point.
So moved on to the next one, the Seahawks versus the Lions. Who do you got?
Detroit is at home, but I think I'm going to go with Russell Wilson and the Seahawks for one reason. I just think, oh my God.
The Lions just aren't very
Stafford,
good.
Yeah, Matt Stafford, he's prone to make mistakes. He's going to throw to the other team. I think the Seahawks capitalize on that. That's when Russell Wilson at his best, when he can capitalize off the other offense's mistake.
And I definitely have to echo that pick. Moving on here, Bengals versus the Buccaneers.
The Bucs have been playing pretty good since Jameis Winston has been in there, but I like the Bengals in this game. I like what Andy Dalton, that offense, has been doing. I'm taking them at home today.
Just anytime you get a warm weather team playing in a cold weather environment, you always pick the cold weather team. Cincinnati by 10. Moving on here, NFC East matchup here. We got the New York Football Giants versus the Washington Redskins.
The Giants is terrible. This was my pick to win the NFC East, and boy, was I wrong. I've been wrong a lot this year picking games. But I think the Redskins win this game. I think they want to win this game. They'll go, if they win this, they'll be up 2 games on that division. They're getting a lot of guys back this week. So I like the Redskins to win this game.
Let me tell you something. Every time you count the Giants out, they come back and win. They ruin the Patriots' perfect season. They win the Super Bowl like that year, and they squeak in to the playoffs on an 8-8 red record. For some reason, my gut is telling me to pick the Giants. Just the Redskins they just don't know how to win yet. They don't know how to get a team while they're down. And I think the Giants finally maybe hit a stride and come back and win a close, 10-6 game here. Could be wrong, but my gut's telling me Giants. Moving on to the next one here, we have the Raiders, horrible, versus the Colts. Who do you got?
Both teams are terrible. I'm going to go with, I guess, the better quarterback here and go with Andrew Luck over Derek Carr. I know he's, banged up. There's reports coming out that he was crying on the field. What about his leadership? They just traded Amari Cooper. This team is, I think, right now is in rebuild mode right now. I like the Colts to win this game, not by much, though.
And my sister is echoing your pick here on Facebook. She's picking some horrible picks, but we'll go ahead and I got to go with the home team here. The Raiders, their talent is just so much better than the Colts. Can I
ask you a question, though, real quick? Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yep.
Do the Raiders want to win this game? Obviously, the players do, because no players ever want to hear anything about tanking.
Right.
But do they really want to win this game here?
I would say no, because they are 1-5, correct? If my memory serves me right.
Yes, 1-5.
Yeah. So currently they're on pace to be first pick in the NFL draft, along with their 3 other first round picks or 4 other first round picks.
Yeah, they got the 2 for Khalil Mack, and then they got the 1 for Amari Cooper.
Yeah. So they have 4 total first round picks. If they win this game, John Gruden will be pissed off. Yes,
I agree.
I 100% agree with you. But I think there's just too much talent on that Raider side, too much heart.
They do have the better team. They do have the better team.
So I feel that they're going to pull out a close one, 24-17 type of game here. Moving on here, Arizona Cardinals versus the San Francisco 49ers.
I don't know, Mike.
Horrible versus horrible.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to go with Rosen. He's at home. Maybe that home crowd will help him out.
I think Rosen is Rosen out this game, though? I thought he was.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, I thought he was hurt.
That is true. Holy crap, man.
Let me check to make sure, but I'm pretty sure he is out for today's game.
I'm looking right now. He is playing this game. Okay. I'm gonna take the Arizona Cardinals in this game. I'm just not. There's a lot of people hurt over there on that San Francisco sideline. Pierre Garçon is out. Jared McKinney is on IR. Richard Sherman is questionable. He's been kind of with that Achilles tendon injury. He hasn't really looked the same since he came back from it. The best running back, Matt Breida, he's questionable. So I think I'm gonna go with the Arizona Cardinals in this one at home. Very, very slim. Maybe a 3-point win, field goal at the end to win the game.
And I'm going to have to echo exactly what you said here. Let's revert back to the earlier game. Is it too early to tank? Answer to that question is no. Both of these 49ers and Cardinals are playing for the first round pick or the first overall pick, second overall pick. But with the addition of the new Arizona Cardinals offensive coordinator, I don't think things click quite yet. I'm going to have to take San Francisco in a close game as well. It's going to be ugly, like 6-3 or 9-3.
Yeah, it's going to be ugly.
It's going to be ugly.
Yeah, it's going to be terrible.
And then I believe this is our final pick for the pick'em here. Let me make sure we don't have. I'm sorry. So let's go ahead and move on to our next pick here. Sunday night game, Vikings versus the Saints. This should be a fairly good matchup, but who do you got?
I know I'm going to sound a tad bit contradictory here, but because I said the Saints is probably the best team in the NFC, and they will represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. But I like the Vikings, man. Kirk Cousins has been playing some really good ball. I said at the start of this season when I picked the Vikings to win that division, I said Kirk Cousins would be the difference. He's a better quarterback than Case Keenum, because he's not a game manager. He can make the throws that's necessary. And with the targets that he has, Diggs and Rudolph and Thielen. Thielen right now, I think I've seen a stat that he could be the first player in NFL history that's been undrafted with 8 straight 100-yard games. I think he continues that right now. The Saints defense haven't been the same like they were last year. They wasn't a great defense last year, but they was a pretty good defense. Right now, they've been slipping. They've been letting go about 27 points per game. Kirk Cousins, he can put up points in bunches. 14 touchdowns on the year, three interceptions, 2,100 yards. But Drew Brees has not thrown an interception yet. I don't think that continues today. I've seen Xavier Rhodes is questionable. Andre Cedejo is out. Anthony Barr is out. Linval Joseph is questionable. That's basically all of their defense. But I don't think defense is going to matter in this game. I think it's who has the ball last. I think that's what type of game this is going to be. I like Kirk Cousins to best Drew Brees. Obviously, they're not playing directly against each other, but I like Kirk Cousins to have a really good game today. I think the Vikings win.
Okay, so the last time these two teams were on the field was the NFC playoffs. Vikings won by the most outrageous play I've seen in the last 5 or 6 years. There were so many memes about that play. I mean, it was just ridiculous. The Vikings are 4-2-1, and the Saints are 5-1. The question that I have for you, Billy, in this game, do you think the Saints are looking past the Vikings to face an undefeated Rams team?
Oh, no, absolutely not. You just said it right now. The last time that these teams faced each other, the Saints players, coaches, everybody, even the Vikings knew that the Saints probably should have won that game. I mean, that was one of the easiest tackles. Any one of my kids, and they're all under the age of 7, probably could have made that tackle. I mean, Stephon Diggs jumped up in the air. He didn't know where he was. He had to then land and then turn around to run. I don't know what the safety Wiggins was doing. And he had a pretty good year up until that point, the rookie safety. I think he had like 3 or 4 picks on the year at that time. I just don't know what he was thinking about in that play. So the Saints is definitely not looking past the Vikings. They want to get this win, to show people like we should have won last year. Now, like I say, situations are different, circumstances are different now because they do have Kirk Cousins, a better quarterback. But I do not believe the Saints are looking past them.
Well, I'm going to have to go with the Saints as well. As much as I like the Vikings at home at a night game out, I believe their stadium's outside now, if I do remember correctly.
Correct.
Here. And the Saints are playing outside in a cold weather game outside. Cold weather, emphasis on the cold weather. It's going to be cold there at night, outside. But I got to go with the Saints. I am contradicting everything my gut tells me to do here. Like, you never pick a indoor team or a warm weather team to win on the road when it's below 40 degrees. You just don't do it. But I got to pick the Saints. The Saints are just playing too good right now. They've won five in a row, 4 in a row. And I don't see them taking the pedal off the gas at all. So I got to go with the Saints 100%. So
yeah, I mean, this was to me was kind of back and forth because I want to pick the Saints because I know how good they are, and Drew Brees is amazing, Michael Thomas is amazing, Ingram and Kamara, these guys are. I mean, he's loaded on offense. I just think right now this is prime example at home for Kirk Cousins to show people why the Minnesota Vikings gave him that $89 million contract. A lot of people don't really like Kirk Cousins because he throws the ball to the other team in some of the most, terrible times, kind of a la Tony Romo. But I like what he is. He can make every throw in the field. He has a cannon. And Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen, these guys are two of the top duos in all of the NFL that don't really get the recognition that they probably should. I'm just gonna go with the home team. Since my gut is telling me the Saints. My gut is saying the Saints is gonna win this game. But I just think the Vikings have enough, and they got the quarterback that they needed or they need to be a Super Bowl contender.
Right.
I'm picking the Vikings.
All right. Well, it should definitely be a good game either way. I mean, I do like
For sure.
I do like the Sunday night games. even though I do not like Chris Collinsworth. But that's a story for a different day here. Moving on to the Monday night game. It is the annual, basically where the Patriots get a bye week. That is not a bye week. They are facing the 2-5 Buffalo Bills, and the Patriots are 5-2. Billy, who do you got on this one?
Obviously, the Patriots in this one. I just don't trust the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen is out. Who are they going to start? Derek Anderson, because obviously Nathan Peterman is, not capable of being an NFL quarterback.
Right.
I don't see the Patriots losing this game. I think this is a rout. The Patriots offense has really got going over these past, 3 weeks. I think that Dolphins game jump started it. That was the start of their they hadn't had 38 points all before that. Then right after that, 38. Then they beat the Chiefs. They just been rolling. Josh Gordon seems to be his deep threat that he needed. Edelman works that intermediate range. Now, I think I did see something about Gronk being out today. I don't think that matters. Because it is the Bills. Patriots win in a rout.
Yeah, and I have to echo a lot of what you just said. Even if their tight end isn't out, I would say he only plays a quarter or two just to get him healthy for the next year. But just some or not for next year, but for the next game and beyond this season, because that's the only way the Patriots are going to get beat if their tight end is out, because that takes away so much.
I think Gronk is the X factor
of their offense. But just a fun fact here. Every time he has played in a game versus the Bills, they have played 15 times. He is 13-2 when he plays against the Buffalo Bills. So, play or not, Patriots by a lot. They might toy with him in the first quarter, try some new offensive things, see if it works. But in the end, it's going to be so ugly so fast. I'll be in bed by halftime.
Yeah, I'll probably be on some 2K by the time halftime come around. I just don't really understand why this game is even on Monday night. Like when the schedule people was making this game, who just said, yeah, you know what? I think the Bills and the Patriots will be a pretty good Monday night football game. I just don't know who thought that. But here we are, Patriots and the Bills on Monday night. I'm pretty sure they could have probably put the Saints on Monday night or the Rams and the Packers on Monday night. I thought that would have been a better game, but whatever. Patriots win by 21.
Well, let's kind of look at the schedule here. I mean, really the only intriguing matchup that you have besides that is the Chiefs versus the Broncos. And the Chiefs already have a lot of Monday night games this week. Or this year. Other than that, you could have put the Steelers and Browns on there. They always seem to play well, but the Browns were horrible. So they aren't going to put a horrible team. So this is their
but they have the Packers and the Rams in the 225 slot, and everybody's going to be watching this game.
Right.
This the Packers and the Rams. That's going to be the game right there. If I'm not mistaken, is that not the game of the week?
The Packers versus the Rams?
Yeah, so why couldn't that be on Monday night and put the Patriots? Yeah, I just think that there are so many other teams or games that they probably could have put in that spot. They could have put this Patriots and Bills game at 11 a.m. and moved, like you said, the Chiefs and the Broncos to Monday night. I would rather see that than to see, Patriots and the Bills on Monday night.
Well, if you
they did it, so.
If you think about this, the Bills were a playoff team this last year. So were the Patriots. So when they were making this schedule, they see, the Bills were 8-8, made the playoffs. Patriots made the playoffs. This could be another AFC playoff preview. Just trying to give them some benefit of the doubt here.
No, they're trash, Mike. But I'm pretty sure if we have any Bills fans watching, I'm pretty sure they appreciate the nice comments.
But As always, guys, thank you for watching, though. If you are watching us on YouTube Live, be sure to give us a comment, a like. Go ahead and share this with a couple friends. For those of you that are watching us on Facebook, the few of you that you are, thank you for watching us as well. Be sure to invite some friends. We are live every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. East Coast time and 9:45 a.m. Sunday East Coast time as well. We are also going to start to branch out the show a tad bit. Billy and myself had a few conversations here off of the air, and we're going to try to get a little broader reach here. Kind of cover key topics of each day. And if there's anything you guys would ever like us to cover, be sure to comment below, and we'll definitely try to get that into the next show. Billy, any closing thoughts before we head out?
Yes. I have been arguing with Florida State fans all day yesterday on Twitter. Even woke up this morning doing the same thing. Everybody want to blame Jimbo Fisher, man. I just do not understand. I get it. He left. This was a mess. But I ask people, man, we have the same offensive line as last year. We have the same running backs as last year. Cam Akers was a 1,000-yard rush as a freshman. This year, we don't even know who he is. The worst home loss in Florida State history yesterday to Clemson, 59-10. It got to be coaching. I just don't see any other way. You get 4- and 5-star recruits, and they can't play. He said people quit, so there's going to be some changes coming. I think he needs to start right at the top at the coaching. All in all, go Noles. We're going to be okay eventually. Also, make sure you follow the Unpopular Opinion podcast. It's on iHeartRadio, Apple iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher. I'm live every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's 12 noon on Spreaker. Also follow the Unpopular Opinion Facebook page at Unpopular 2018. We will be back this week, starting tomorrow. I took a little vacation last week, went back home to Florida, so we will be back on track this week. Also follow the Unpopular Twitter page at Unpopular 2018. For all news for the show. Thank you guys for the support.
All right, guys, and always thank you for joining us, and catch us on Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Go Chiefs!